Exciting fights are nothing new in the boxing world, but the possible bout between Terence Crawford and Canelo Alvarez has sparked a great deal of interest and anticipation. There are many different perspectives on how the fight might unfold, and this battle has generated intense debates among boxers, fans, and commentators. Canelo has made a name for himself as a formidable force in a number of weight classes and is regarded as one of the sport's most talented and esteemed boxers. However, there are concerns about Crawford's ability to overcome Canelo's size and power advantage in the super middleweight class given his remarkable talents, quickness, and versatility. Legendary boxing icon Floyd Mayweather has expressed his opinions about this bout. Mayweather has frequently noted that boxing is a taxing sport that has a substantial negative impact on fighters, especially those with lengthy careers like Canelo. Mayweather notably handed Canelo his first professional loss in 2013. Mayweather cautioned that Alvarez might eventually succumb to the physical demands of boxing, even with his stellar record. Canelo has already advanced through many weight divisions and faced some of the biggest names in the sport. Mayweather warned that fighters may experience unexpected declines in performance as they age. Even the most talented and strong boxers can be eventually worn out by the unrelenting pace and physical demands of the sport. Although Mayweather praised Canelo's extraordinary accomplishment in the sport, he pointed out that fighters frequently lose their motivation and capacity to keep up the same level of energy as they become older. At the age of 34, Canelo has fought in many fights, and although his strength is still strong, the effects of a long career are noticeable. Floyd emphasized that although Canelo still has a lot of power, he is no longer able to maintain the same level of intensity and apply constant pressure as he did in his early years. Canelo's recent results, like as his 6 straight decision victories, show that his game has changed, and not always in a positive way, Mayweather said. His once unstoppable momentum has slowed, but he is still a formidable opponent. This might be a big impact when he faces someone like Crawford. But Crawford poses a quite different problem. As one of the world's top pound-for-pound boxers, Crawford is renowned for his adaptability and shrewdness in the ring. One of his uncommon and valuable boxing skills is his ability to transition between orthodox and southpaw stances with ease and modify his plan in the middle of a battle. Mayweather, who is frequently commended for his ring IQ, has noted that one of the things that makes Crawford so hard to beat is his versatility. Mayweather feels that Crawford stands out from many other boxers, including Canelo, because of his capacity to change tactics during a fight. Crawford doesn't have a single strategy, in contrast to many other fighters. For someone like Canelo, who mostly depends on his strength and aggression, he is a very difficult fighter since he can adapt in real time to his opponent's style and weaknesses. There has been much discussion about Crawford and Canelo's battle, with some speculating that Crawford would find it difficult to handle the size disparity. Although Crawford has demonstrated his abilities at welterweight and junior welterweight, it would be a significant step up to go against Canelo at 2 weight classes. Crawford's ability to sustain his speed and skill against a physically stronger opponent who also possesses deadly power has been called into question by this challenge. Many analysts think that Canelo's stature and strength would ultimately give him the advantage, and that Crawford might not be able to handle the weight rise. Others counter that Crawford's skill set might be sufficient to offset Canelo's physical advantages. Crawford has repeatedly shown that he can adapt throughout a fight, and his defense, speed, and strategic acumen are considered to be among the finest in the sport. Although Canelo's strength poses a serious threat, several pundits think Crawford's mobility, head defense, and ring knowledge may help him avoid some of Canelo's more potent strikes. Canelo has shown himself to be a strong and resilient fighter over a variety of weight classes, so the question now becomes whether Crawford can handle his physicality. Given that Crawford is not one to back down from a challenge, The prospect of a bout between him and Canelo is all the more fascinating. Canelo, who is regarded as one of the biggest names in boxing right now, has stated that he wants to compete against the finest boxers of his time. Crawford has stated unequivocally that his desire for this battle is not primarily driven by money. Rather, he wants to prove that he can dominate the super middleweight division by competing against the greatest. Many people in the boxing community respect him because of this mindset, and they value his dedication to self-improvement and readiness to take on challenging opponents. Whether Crawford can manage the weight jump and whether his abilities will be sufficient to compensate for the size disadvantage are the main unanswered questions surrounding the battle. Although Crawford recently fought Israel Mando at 154 pounds, the leap to 168 pounds would provide a completely new obstacle. Canelo, on the other hand, is an experienced and formidable force at these higher weight classes because he has competed for a considerable amount of time at super middleweight and light heavyweight. The size difference between the two fighters may prove to be a deciding factor. According to some pundits, Crawford's strength and quickness may not be enough to overcome Canelo's inherent size advantage. Some people think Crawford's skill set could give him the advantage in spite of these reservations. Famous boxing trainer Teddy Atlas has stated that he thinks Crawford has the mental tenacity and innate capacity to fight against anyone, no matter how big or small. Atlas contends that Crawford has the skill and character to rise to the challenge, even though he admits that going up 3 weight classes is a difficult task. Crawford stands apart from other fighters who might be hesitant to make such a challenging weight change because of his versatility and desire to try himself in other divisions. Former world champion David Benavidez has also commented on the possible bout, emphasizing that while Crawford's abilities are indisputable, Canelo's size advantage may prove to be a major barrier. Benavidez emphasized that fighters must respect the various weight classes and that Crawford would have to face bigger and more intimidating opponents if he were to advance to super middleweight. Benavidez thinks the bout might be a mismatch because of Canelo's stature and strength, which would give him a clear advantage in the ring. Still, many fans are drawn to the battle because they want to watch 2 of the top fighters of their time go head-to-head. Some contend that Canelo's experience and physicality will be too much for Crawford to handle, while others think that Crawford's extraordinary boxing speed and IQ will enable him to outsmart Canelo. This battle has all the makings of a classic matchup, regardless of who wins, with a lot of interest around the opposing styles and tactics of both combatants. Canelo hasn't been too outspoken about wanting to fight Crawford, but he hasn't ruled out the prospect either. Canelo is well known for picking bouts carefully and frequently pursuing situations that make the most financial sense. His admission that he is amenable to talks about taking on Crawford, however, suggests that the possibility of a fight is still open. This has stoked rumors that the fight may actually take place soon, maybe around the weekend of Mexican Independence Day in 2025, as some stories indicate. The bout between Terence Crawford and Canelo Alvarez ultimately serves as a crucial test for both competitors. Canelo's strength and super middleweight division expertise will test Crawford's remarkable abilities and versatility. With Canelo hoping to maintain his supremacy across several classes and Crawford hoping to demonstrate that he can dominate the heavier weight classes, the fight's conclusion may have a long-term effect on both fighters' reputations. The fight between these 2 boxers will undoubtedly be a show for boxing fans worldwide, regardless of whether Crawford can overcome the weight disadvantage and defeat Canelo.